Today, I'm going to show you how you can gamify your Notion workspace with two databases. So we're going to have one page, call it Tasks and Goals. We're going to have a database for just big goals and another database for tasks that break up those big goals. So we'll have to connect these two databases. From there, I want to create a point system. So whenever you complete a task, you get a certain amount of points. I'm going to show you how you can collect all of these points over time and return something like a level up formula, so that upon a certain amount of points you've gained over time, you go up to level 1, level 2, level 3, and so on. Now, the gamification of tasks is simply just an incentive. It's another reward-based technique, and you can customize your Notion space to support gamification. So, let's start creating this little template page together. Let's get into it. So how this is set up is that I have the goals down here in a database in board view. It's like actively read at least 4 books in 30 days. Over here, become healthier in the next 3 months and take sailing lessons within the next 6 months. So I have the title of the goal, time frame, the description. Then I have the reward, and my reward for this would be knowledge and reading speed improved. Projected end date will be a month from today, November 15th. This is a date property, and you can come down here to date. Now, I also have 4 different text properties for sub-goals of this bigger goal here. And we'll fill this out together in a moment. I'll show you one that's finished. So this one's called Become Healthier in 3 months. You'll see that my sub-goals aren't in text. So be able to run 3 miles without stopping. Be able to run 3 miles without stopping. If I were to simply just write this out in text, it would look like this. What I'm doing in this example is I want to turn all of these sub-goals into their own pages. And I'll show you the reason for this in a moment, but let me just show you first how I'm turning this text into a sub-page. And what a sub-page is basically me saying, the page I'm creating inside of this goal is only connected to this goal. So to do this, I simply just copy and delete it if it's already there. And I'm going to press the @ button, so the @ symbol, or you can press the plus symbol and start typing, or open bracket, and start typing. I'm going to use the plus sign. So if I were to click inside of it, it will turn it to its own page. And up here in the breadcrumbs, you'll see that the parent is Become Healthier. Let's say make a streamline note-taking system in Obsidian. Add that subpage and do another one. Say read, say plus, read Atomic Habits and Hallucinations by Oliver Sacks. Make that a subpage. And the third goal will be read 750 words per minute. Paste that in and subpage. And how I'm able to see all these sub-goals in this little window here is that I'm going to, again, these 3 dots, going to Properties, and down here you can see options to hide or show certain properties within the database. Now up here at the tasks database, I'm basically just breaking everything down. So reach out to students who've signed up. That is related to take sailing lessons, and I do have a sub-goal called make connections with other students. Run 1 mile and time it. That is going to be in relation to Become Healthier. Read Atomic Habits. This one is in relation to actively read greater than or equal to 4 books. So what I want to do is within each of these tasks, now every task does not have to relate to this bigger goals database, but I just want to show you that if there is a case where it does and you do want to make those connections, this is how you can do it. There are 2 ways you can relate databases, but first let me show you why you may want to connect these databases together. Chances are you may want to put your goals database into an entirely separate page, or maybe can go down to turn into page here. You may want to move it to your sidebar, which you can do by clicking Move To and Move to Private Pages. This tasks database is maybe inside of my home page at the top, and these total points as well, and my quick tasks. So what I want to do, because I do not have eyes on my goals database, it is somewhere else in my workspace, I want to be able to just search for a goal and relate it to a task. The first thing I could do is create a relation property. And that's down in Advanced, in Property Type, Relation. What I'm going to do is search for my goals database, which is named exa.goals. Create that relation, and now I have a window into that database. So now, if I go to my goals, say click on actively read 4 books, I can see all the tasks that are related to this goal. Now within something like this, you can drag these around, and you also have a window into all of the other properties. So I can see when I completed the task, the deadline, the points, which we'll get to in a moment, and all of the goals related to, and priority, which we'll also get into. So really, this is just a nice way to navigate around your workspace. Coming back to this page, I want to show you another way to connect databases. So instead of this being a relation, let's actually convert it to text. What this is going to do is convert a relation to an inline link. What I'm going to do again is either press @ symbol. Now I'm going to go look for the goal. So now I want to look for take sailing lessons. And I see it right here. But you'll also notice that my sub-goals within take sailing lessons also appears. And this is what's nice about backlinking instead of using the relation property. I also see make connections with other students and go to classes for duration of course. That's because we created those sub-pages within take sailing lessons. So reach out to students who've signed up would actually be more in relation to make connections with other students. Now I can either connect to that goal by clicking on it, because we have now created a link, and you will see this backlink to reach out to students who've signed up. That is the task. And I can go back to the goal it is related to. As you can see, take sailing lessons is the parent. And now I can navigate back to my goals database. So again, this is just a really nice way to create navigation. But I will say that there are limitations to backlinking. Unlike relating properties, you won't have that window to look through. You won't be able to see if a task is completed or not. You'll simply just see all the tasks related to this goal. You also won't be able to drag backlinks up and down to sort. But the only options you really have for backlinking is either to hide the backlinks or show them. Let's fill out some more of these. Let's say this one is related to read greater than or equal to 4 books. And within here, I'm going to click the sub-goal, read atomic habits and hallucinations. This one would be make a streamlined note-taking system. And maybe I'll keep this as related to become healthier. And you'll see Bike the Trail is a backlink to this goal. When it comes to creating wiki-like pages in Notion, I find this to be incredibly helpful, especially if you're taking notes. Now let's talk about how to prioritize a task. This is going to be a part of how we connect the tasks database to this total points database here, which is going to sum all of the points we have accumulated over time. Determine if a task is of high priority, medium priority, low priority, or a quick task. And I'm going to leave quick tasks up here at the top. This is going to be separate from this database here. I'm just going to go /to-do to get this to-do box. Now this is just personal preference. I don't like keeping quick reoccurring tasks inside a database like this. I normally just put them up here, and then when I'm done with them, I'll just cross them out and delete them. Now either I can fill in high to low priority options in here, or I can do it straight in here. Let's do it right inside of this tasks database. So reach out to students who've signed up. Let's say that this is of low priority. You can see low priority has populated up here because it is related. Run 1 mile and time it. Let's say this is of medium priority. Let's say bike the trail is of low priority. I won't have to make a new page. All I'm going to do is navigate down in this window and click low priority. Now that all of these are set up, let's go into creating a point system. And at the very end, I'm going to filter this database just in case you do want to use this as a template. Let's actually drag this goals database back down here. And this page will be a public page linked down in my description. So first I want to toggle a block. Just go / toggle. Go conditions for points. What I want to do is say, if I complete a task before the deadline, then I want to return the number 2. If I complete a task on the deadline, then return 1 point. And let's say if I complete the task after the deadline, then -2 points. You can also include if a priority is a certain priority. So if we have a high priority task that is overdue, you may want to reduce this point even further, but we'll go through that after we implement these 3 if statements. So I'm going to this formula cell, which what I did was I went into property type and down to advanced, you'll see formula here. Open this box. And I'm going to start creating if statements. So an if statement is basically if this, then show me that, comma, if this, then show me that, comma, also if this, then show me that, comma, otherwise, if all 3 of these conditions do not apply, show me this, the false condition. Then I'm going to close all these out with 3 parentheses at the end because there are 3 conditions. So let's just fill in the gaps here. Let's say if property, so prop, complete, right, is before deadline, so is less than prop deadline, show me the number 2. If prop complete is on the deadline, so equals property deadline, show me 1. And if property complete is greater than the deadline, show me -2. Otherwise, just show 0. Now you see all of these points have accumulated. Reach out to students who've signed up. I have completed after the deadline. Run 1 mile and time it is completed on the deadline. Read Atomic Habits on the deadline. So these 2 are giving me 1 point. This one as well. Let's say for this one, it was actually completed on the 15th. Now I have 2 points. And you'll see the sum calculated down here. And to find that, you can go to calculate. And if it is a column of numbers, you will be able to find the sum, the average, the median, the min, the max, the range, and all of these other options. What I'm going to do is find this sum, and I'm going to transfer it over to this database. So to do that, I created this rollup up in points. Remember, all of these tasks are automatically connected as we insert the priority type in the task database. What I'm going to do is configure, and you can find rollup by going down to advanced, choosing rollup. Clicking on a cell, you can configure it. I'm going to grab tasks. And the property I want to grab inside of this database is points. Go down to calculate and sum. And again, you'll see that the sum down here is equal to the sum down here. Now what I want to do is make it a little bit more complex. Now let's say if a high priority task is ahead of schedule, I get more points. I get more of a reward. And if it is behind schedule, I get more of a deduction. Right in the beginning here, I'm gonna say if prop complete is less than prop deadline, and if prop priority equals high priority, and I'm spelling this out exactly as I see it, H in high being capital and P in priority being capital, just like right here, then give me a 3 instead. And we're putting an extra parentheses at the end here. Now there's 4 at the end because now there are 4 if statements. Now you can see that there's a 3, it has summed to 3, and up here it has summed to 3 as well. Now it looks like I have 3 total points in high priority, 2 in medium, and -2 in low. Now let's create an if statement that says if a high priority is behind schedule, so we're late, I actually want to reduce it to -3. To do that, I'm also going to come up here at the top and say if property complete is greater than property deadline, and property priority is equal to high priority in quotes, then comma, give me -3. And what I have at the end here is yet another parenthesis. And you'll see if complete is after the deadline, we have a -3. If it is on the deadline, the 16th, a 1, and before it, +3. And the sum will keep changing. See up here. So now that we have this, what I want to do is go ahead and create a filter in this task database, just in case you want to use it. Let's say in this view, I only want to see tasks that are active, but in another view, I want to see tasks that are archived, so they're already complete. The default view, the one we were just looking at, will show up here and archived down here. Let's say in default view, I want to change this to active tasks. And here I'll create a filter that says where complete is empty. So this is only tasks where the deadline is still in the future and I have not completed them yet. In archived tasks, I want to create a filter that says complete is not empty. And you can divide this up even more. You can create filters just for priority. For example, you can also add another filter for complete and priority is or contains, and you can select a page, high priority. Again, to create a new database view, you're just going to go down here and add new view. Now what I want to do is add a property up here, and let's call it level. And I'm going to create a formula, and in here, I want to return, as these points start accumulating, I want to give it a level. So let's say the goal, conditions for level, I bring that up here. Let's say, first of all, the goal is to reach 250 points. In a year. I might actually get a widget for that, but that's that goal, a sum of 250 in a year. Now let's say levels 1 through level 6. And let's say level 1 is anything greater than or equal to 8. Let's say level 2 is anything greater than or equal to 20, 40, 60, 80, and level 6 is 100 points. Actually, let's make this 300. And for each one of these priorities, let's generally hit 100 points. So using if statements again, I can say if total points, if prop total points. We're going to use if statements again, except we're going to start from level 6 down to level 1. So I want to say if property total points equals 100, then, comma, show me the word level 6. And here we can add an emoji. What I'm doing on a Mac is I'm pressing Command Control Space. Give it this emoji here. Then what I can do is actually copy and paste this if statement, put it into the next one, and just fill in the gaps. Let's say if total points, instead of being equal to 100, is greater than equal to 80, then level 5, and so on. Greater than or equal to 60, level 4. Let's say level 4 has a different emoji, maybe a lightning bolt. And level 3 also has a lightning bolt. Let's make level 2 check. And this is greater than or equal to 20. And then level 1 will be greater than or equal to 8. And let's give this a flag. Okay. Otherwise, if none of these apply, so actually let's make this greater than or equal to 100 equals level 6. And you can also adjust this if you plan on using something like this by just switching out these numbers and these text values. And this is a single if statement. So you can, again, copy, paste it to the end here before the false condition, and then add an extra parentheses at the end. So I'll show you how that works. So if all of these cases do not apply, that means the number is less than 8, then I want it to show me this sprout emoji and newbie. So this is now the false condition. Now I'm going to close this out with 6 parentheses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you'll see that all of these tasks are below 8 points, but if I were to duplicate some of these, let's duplicate all of them. Actually, I can drag, click here, and duplicate, and then duplicate again. Now we have a sum of 9 points. High priority has 9 points, so now we're at level 1. Let's just duplicate this one more time and see what happens. You'll see these levels start to increase. Again, if you want this database down here, as it grows exponentially, you can divide all of these up by filters like we did here. Now, as for this goal to reach 300 points in a year, what I want to do is actually grab this progress bar widget, and this is coming from indify.co, link will be down below. I can do a countdown widget, and in the countdown I want to say event title is end date for goal. The end date I want to put in here is next October 17th in 2021. It will just give me a countdown to the end of the year from today. I'm going to copy the widget here and paste it probably right in here. That is pretty cool. And this is pretty much done. I mean, again, believe it or not, this is sort of a bare minimum approach to gamifying in Notion. First of all, a link will be down in the description. Formulas will be there as well to copy and paste without having to duplicate the template entirely or just to take a look at. Other than that, let me go over some updates. I'm planning on creating a goal setting bullet journal-ish template for the new year, and it's going to come out next month. It's basically just going to be a giant dashboard of different ways to prepare for the new year, some habit tracking, some goal setting, and things like that. With that, I will be creating some icon packs and some things to decorate your Notion space with. That's all going to come out next month, just so you know. And I will update about that on Twitter. As well, for this week, I do want to put out a video about Obsidian, if that's something you are interested in. And if you have any particular requests with Obsidian, again, you can contact me or write a comment down below on what you want to see with that program. Okay, that is about it. I will see you guys next time.